Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lauren from Let's Go Louisiana, and we are here in New Orleans at the Super Bowl week on Super Bowl Sunday with a very special guest, Mr. Chris Brown, the Mr. Chris Brown vet. Tell him about yourself, Chris. Where you from? What you do?
I grew up in Tampa, and I went to the military, was fresh out of school, and I did 27 years.
Thank you for your service. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
sure.
my pleasure.
So, tell us a little about Emerging Vets.
So Emerging Vets and Players was co-founded by Nate Boyer and Jay Glazer. They got together. Nate, he used to be a Green Beret, and he always had a passion. He wanted to play football. So when he got back, he trained really hard, and he walked on at the University of Texas. And then he ended up making it to the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks. And him and Jay, Jay is involved in the NFL, and he was like, hey man, like one of the guys that he had an injury, and he was a really good player. He thought he had a lot more years, and he got hurt. And then he found out, like, I'm not playing in the league no more, and I didn't have myself set up for success. So what am I going to do with my life? And they connected each other. So ever since then, we have 8 chapters around the United States. Right now, we're in the infancy. I'm building the one for Jacksonville, Florida.
That's amazing work. You mentioned a little bit earlier about military health. I'm very big on that. I feel like sometimes the military, I find some of my friends, there's different things that I've been around, sometimes get a little lost, especially in mental health. And it's such a sad thing to me because you guys, I'm so grateful for what y'all do and for you guys keeping us safe and everything that y'all sacrifice. Not only y'all, but your family as well.
Yes.
I was in the military. I was a military wife for 7 years, and it's a huge sacrifice for everyone. Your kids, your family,
Sure.
your parents, anybody involved, your friends. Not just y'all, but y'all are the biggest,
Sure.
biggest people impacted. So
It's just as hard for you guys as well, though. My wife is a boss. Like when I was gone all the time, I was in Afghanistan for a year. She had to do everything, and she had to carry a job. Like I went through a lot of stuff, and I saw a lot of crazy things. But man, she's awesome.
I know how to fix a lot of things around the house. I know how to do all the things, but I'm not gonna lie, that was my favorite thing whenever he came back from deployment was, having somebody to help me and
Sure.
not have to do everything all by myself.
I'm gonna kick my feet up.
Yeah.
You got that, babe.
Yeah. So, but it trained me to be a stronger single woman now.
Yeah,
So.
that's good. That's good. Life lessons, man.
Yeah,
That's
single
awesome.
mom. So I was used to that. I was single mom for 6 years before I got remarried to him, and then I was married to him for 7 years before we got divorced. So, kind of already had a little bit of self-sufficiency there, but you don't realize how tough you are until you have
Yeah.
no choice to do.
I say that all the time. People that are going through some things, I'm like, you're stronger than you think. Just think that, and it resonates. I had a girl, she was going through it, one of my friends from high school, she was going through a lot of things, and I was like, you're stronger than you think. Just woosah, and eventually it will all work out. And now she's doing great.
That's awesome. So, what does your nonprofit look like in the future? Where are you hoping? I know you're opening up the chapters and you're the agency of it. So, what is your goal?
I got a lot of things going on right now. So as I told you, Aaron Beasley and I, Donovan Darius, we're starting our little podcast. Donovan played with Fred, and me and Shannon go way back. And then Donovan, I haven't really linked up with him yet, but I would have a meeting when I get home. This craziness from the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl. But I'm here with Sierra Delta Service Dogs. My buddy BJ Ganem, he created that nonprofit. He has a prosthetic leg, and I met him through all of this. And my other buddy that he connected to a service dog, life partner, Zeus, my buddy Mike, he's missing his arm. So they connect each other, and we've all been buddies for years. And then also Bonnie Jo Laughlin, one of her people got sick, so I kind of stepped in and was her publicist because we go way back. And this week has been a whirlwind, like we talked about earlier, doing everything under the sun.
That's awesome. I'm a huge animal lover. Also, they're very big and near and dear to my heart. I always wonder. Tell me if you know anything about the actual dogs that y'all use over there.
Oh yeah.
They have a nonprofit for that matches up or helps their handlers get to keep them when they come home. Or?
Yes. Bonnie, she has a nonprofit as well. It's Hounds for Heroes. So she works with those. BJ and Sierra Delta, he helps that. But so my unit in Afghanistan, make peace or die, honor the fallen. There were 17 Marines that we lost in Afghanistan, and the guy that made this documentary, he was our handler. He was in the Alpha Company. with his dog. So he ended up being able to take home. If you guys could watch it, I mean, shameless plug, but it's amazing. Like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it.
I love to watch things like that. I love documentaries. I love learning like real life experiences. You know, it's so much easier to resonate and for people to understand maybe if they see something like that, because we don't always understand everybody's struggle or everybody's story. This doesn't relate to the military, but however, a part of what I was doing this week is doing behind the scenes, showing how much goes into production. I have friends in lighting, ESPN camera people, behind the scenes media with the podcast. I told you I was at Pat McAfee, saw y'all over there. Just filming that and how it gets produced into your TV, like the set build, like it took forever for them, and then they tore it down in one day. They were tearing it down when we finished our media stuff, and I was like, wow, it's just crazy how so much goes into it in preparation, and then it's just all wiped out. But people don't get to see that. They think they show up to a show and you press a button or a light switch, and you pay like 40, 60, whatever you pay for your tickets, and then boom, there it goes.
Did you do opening night?
I did. I was there.
So when they brought us in the back door, and then you're in the parking garage, and all of a sudden you're in this room with like thousands of tables, computers, laptops, everybody working. This is my first year that I actually did opening night. I usually don't start until like Wednesday, but oh my goodness, it was mind blowing. And then you're on the field and all the lights and the aura, getting to ask questions. The little ones was like, ask Travis about Taylor. I was like, no, everybody's gonna ask that. Like that's not what it's about. You gotta think of something new to ask. And then Saquon, my wife was like, tell Saquon I love him. I'm like, what about me?
That's her whole pass, I guess.
Right? No, heck no.
No, just kidding.
The MVP of the Super Bowl?
Yeah. So, it was, I've learned so much this week. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is like my first time with such a big production. I started my company a year ago, so I'm so blessed that we have grown so much in just a year to be able to experience all of this. I have such wonderful friends in the industry that have helped me along the way. I'm so grateful for that and the opportunities that I've been afforded. I'm very blessed. Going forward, I just hope that I'll continue to be able to bring things to people and bring light who want to show that. So, is there anything else you want to bring light to?
Everybody, like we talked, there's a reason why we ended up meeting tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% believe that God put you on the right path.
Our path. I'm on borrowed time. Like I shouldn't be here probably twice. So live life, have fun. Craig Stitchin, he works at Warrior Wishes. He got us into the what's it called? The fan club, the pregame tailgate for the Eagles. So I'm in there with all these guys. We had a couple of veterans in there, so we were talking about that. Irving Fryer, like all those guys, they know Aaron Beasley. So like we were talking about it. It's like, tell him I said so and so. And then like, Chris, come here. And I turn around, it's the governor. I was like, are you kidding me? So we have a ball for auction. We're having a golf event next month, and I got the ball signed from the Eagles. You can see it in there. We'll get some of that, but yeah. So when we do an auction, if the Eagles finish winning this game, we're gonna have a ball signed by a bunch of Eagles and the governor of Philadelphia.
They don't. It's
still, but if they win, I don't know. In my mind, I breathe football. I love sports, but I breathe football. So to have that to help with mental health for the athletes and the veterans, mind blowing.
I think we were discussing a little bit earlier. I grew up in the Alabama firefighting. My grandpa was chief. I was born into it, so he was chief already. He was a chief for 45 years, and so when I was born, he was already in there for a while. And all that I heard when I was a little girl is, girls don't run the firehouse. Girls don't run the firehouse. So what do I do?
So you're gonna prove them wrong?
Of course I have. So I love football. I'm such a tomboy. I may look like a girly girl for work, but I am 100% a tomboy. I love working on cars. I love football, all things eager boys. My mom used to say all the time, like, God knew what he was doing when he gave me a son, because we did everything like all boy stuff together. So
I met probably 6 or 7. I mean, I met a lot, but like real deal, 6 or 7 female COO, CEO, amazing women that are just killing it out there. So like, let's collab, let's talk to each other. I help you, you help me.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
We were talking about that earlier in some of my earlier interviews. I'm an influencer for Too Hot Radio, and I was down at their warehouse party with some of the new and upcoming artists that we featured.
The media night?
No, tonight.
Oh.
Or earlier today, not tonight.
Yeah.
So I did that for a little bit, and I met so many amazing artists. They're coming in from all places out of state. There's some from here. I got to interview one And he has the same name as my son, so I was like I even cheer for you more. But it's so nice to meet people from all walks of life. And we were talking about that. The world is so cruel already, so negative. That I like. That's my motto. Like I just want to be positive. No matter how ugly people are to me, I'm always going to be that positive person. And like just reflect on gratitude. Even though they're ugly, I was like, I did a gratitude post today. I was like, I'm thankful for the lessons. I'm thankful for them. It makes me want to work harder and prove people wrong. Like that's always been my thing. Like I love it when people tell me no when I can't do something. Because watch me.
It makes you want to do it more.
Absolutely.
Like Travis Kelce, like don't tell me no. If you tell me no, I'm gonna work harder. I'm gonna do it.
I mean, he thought he wasn't a big church.
I know, right? He spoke that into fruition. I told the girls that they're super Swifties, all my girls. And they're like, it's not true, it's not true. I was like, babe, it's true. I'm telling you, watch. And then it was true. He's like, whatever. You didn't know that. Yeah, they're huge Swifties.
Yeah. So, absolutely, I love that. And God always gives us so many affordable opportunities that we never know when it's going to happen. So you got to take it when you can.
We talk about people only show you what they want to show you on the outside. You have no earthly idea what's going on in the inside.
Battle. And that's the thing with mental health. I think that's very important.
It's huge.
Yeah, so that's why in my brand, in my platform, I told you I had lupus. People just see me going, having fun, doing a lot of things all the time. They don't understand the chronic pain I'm in, the exhaustion, and everybody's like, I don't know how you do it, but I choose to not let something define my life. I don't want to lay in a bed all day. I don't want to be on disability. I don't want to, no, I'm not judging anybody who is. If that's something you have to do, but that's just something that I refuse to do if I don't have to do it. So, I get up every day and I choose, to just push through the pain, do what I can. I have to give myself grace, but it's so hard for me because I'm such a go-go-goer. I'm not used to my body having limits.
Yeah, I understand.
I want to do everything. So.
Yeah, being a doc. I know. Yeah.
So is that something you encounter with your veterans that you work with for your job?
So with myself, I was going through a lot, and my wife realized that. So I was in Mississippi. We were pre-com in the USS Tripoli, and it was supposed to be a 12-month tour. They're like, hey, you could say no, but you're the guy we want. So I was like, okay, and I told her, and she's like, okay, I support you, because she was going to nursing school. So I was like, okay, let me go over here and do this. It turned into 3 years, and just being away from them and struggling because she didn't have a job anymore, and she was going to nursing school to, help us. We're trying to make it through that time. I couldn't go home as much as I wanted to. I got in a dark place, and then she noticed that. She's like, no, I'm sorry, but you're not the guy that I fell in love with. You need to get help. I didn't want to get the help. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk about being vulnerable again because I started thinking about it. I don't.
And let's talk about that too, because I think that is something very big that I noticed. I want to definitely highlight the stigma around mental health. It's no different than you having to take a high blood pressure pill for high blood pressure or a shot for diabetes. It is just a health issue that needs to be addressed. And it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to lean on your friends and your family, or even strangers. God puts strangers in your life. Even you don't have friends or family, but God sends you. I call it little guardian angels. You meet them, and then they're in your life for a reason, a purpose to help you get through that dark time for whatever reason they're there for.
Sure.
So I love that too. That's something that is very important to me. Friends that have struggled with that. It's okay for guys to be vulnerable. It doesn't make you any less of a man. I hate the stigma that comes around that, and I think that is a big thing with you see so many. I feel like isn't the statistics, correct me if I'm wrong, that it's higher for male suicide than it is female suicide in the military, and that's because men are just programmed to be tough all the time, but we're not. We're all human. We're very much human, and I think that it would be a better place, or will be a better place if people saw the beauty in people instead of focusing on the negatives in everybody. And also, being honest. You can be honest and positive.
Sure.
And productive.
But imagine you're playing football since you're 5, 6 years old, and you make it to the league you've always been the top of your game, and then all of a sudden there's nothing. One of my buddies, Justin, man, he's huge. Can you imagine being able to be vulnerable? I'm the man. it's hard. That's why I love MVP, because actually you build that friendship and then you kind of talk about everything. So like for me, when I first went to go get seen, I went to go talk to the doctor, and being through med school, I understand what she was talking about. Like you're talking to me like a diagnosis or
You just approach it in a different way to make you
yes,
feel comfortable about
but
it.
she didn't, and so in my mind, I wasn't looking at the doctor side of it. I'm like, who are you? You have no earthly idea what I've seen. And like, you're talking to me like a diagnosis. I'm like, I'm out. I literally left up at the seat, and my wife, she's like, you need help. Like, this is not going to work if you do not get the help. And I found MVP. I was at the Super Bowl in Arizona. BJ, I hate you right now. So BJ Gannon was here, Delta. He's like, hey Chris, come out to MVP, check it out, whatever. I was like, all right, cool, I'll be there. I'm in a tracksuit and the very wrong shoes. I'm like, okay, let's get ready to work out. I was like, wait, what? And my buddy George, he was out there, and he just got in a car accident. So he's sitting on the bench, he's over there laughing at us, sitting next to Jim McMahon, while we're sweating our butt off. He's just laughing at us. He's like pulling his camera out of his pocket so he can take video of it. I was like, oh my God. So Nate Boyer was next to me. Didn't know him at the time, had no clue who he was. You watch Power Slap? The Big Chief, like he goes by that, is one of my boys. So he was working out next to me on this side. Nate was over here. So we're talking up, and he did all kinds of things like fighting, bare knuckle fighting. And then Nate was talking about his Green Beret stuff. But by the time we finished, we didn't talk about Nate's his time with the football. So they were like, hey, our co-founder Nate Boyer, come on up. And he starts going up there. I was like, wait, what? Yo, cracker, you didn't tell me that. So he goes up there, starts talking. He brings out a baseball guy that's like very high in the league, and he was talking about going through some things. They just won the World Series. He had a huge deal, and he was losing his whole family, losing his wife. Some things that happened. She was like, I'm taking the kids, I'm doing everything. He took a bottle of Jack Daniels and a bottle of pills and went in the car. He's like, I'm not waking up. And he took all of it, and he woke up to his daughter that was like, Daddy, what are you doing? And it was like the epiphany. That was kind of the same for me. So I was like, babe, just like stay with me. I'm gonna get the help. And like, here we are, 10 years later.
It's amazing, and I think it's wonderful that men should be mentors to one another and have each other to lean on as well, just like women have their friends to lean on as well. But like you said, I think it's more comfortable for you guys, and also better that are in the program because they understand what you saw. They can, even if it wasn't the exact same thing, you understand it. Kind of in the military, military fire station, we see a lot of crews and stuff and medical calls and things like that. So kind of the same things. So I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of guy friends, and they're like, you're just so easy to talk to, but like I have dark humor too, because honestly, dark humor really.
I think that's the mechanism.
You.
Yeah, that's the mechanism that you're like, okay.
Because if you don't have it, your mind just takes you to that terrible place.
Yes.
So it's like, we may seem like we're just, a little off or something when we're making jokes, but it helps to ease. The worst thing in the world, I'll have to say, like, watch my brother struggle. There was a incident with kids, and he saved one who was able to stay together, and they have extreme guilt. And, so a lot of people don't realize, too, first responders, what they see in the database.
Yeah, it's the same that I saw in the incident, yes.
Yeah,
you see it before everybody else, you see it before the inmates and all that.
Matter of fact, one of our firefighters at our station, his wife was honored at the Super Bowl. They were the first 4 EMS workers that were down there.
Holding the pictures? Tonight?
I think so. Well, I don't really know for sure, but I know that the first 4 of them that were down there on the night of New Year's, he was telling us that because I stopped at the fire station the other day. I've been doing so much Super Bowl stuff, and I've been down here all week, and I miss my guys on my shift. So I stopped, and I was like, I'm gonna do a workout and get coffee, and hopefully y'all cook breakfast, because I can steal their breakfast all the time. I'm not even gonna lie, just kidding. But Ben's one of my awesome friends and workout partners, and so he works down at a fire station here, and his wife works for one of CMS too. So they were down there, and I actually saw some footage from initial stuff that it's sad that people put it on the internet. And stuff, and where sometimes when I find myself when I've gone on calls before, it's kind of almost like you got to tell yourself it's like prosthetics out of the movie, so you don't, mentally, you keep it sane. And a lot of people can't understand that, but like you just have to. My football would always say like, in a situation, if you freak out, you can't help it. You got to yell stuff from a first responder. point of view. You have to like stay in the moment.
Sure.
You have that adrenaline rush, your heart's racing and everything, but you've got to keep your mind slow, and you have to do, cognitive, quick thinking.
Yeah.
So,
Repetition, like you train how you fight. So every time we're training, you pretend, and then your mind just takes over. We had a guy when we
like medical triage,
Yeah.
okay, first you gotta do this,
Yes.
take filter, do this step.
Yes,
like,
that's what I was just about to
steps.
say. We had a guy during our training where we were doing cold weather training, we were doing CACs out at Mojave Viper. He was a goof, and he just couldn't get it. So like, we need to replace this guy because people are gonna die. Like, no, like don't do that. Like, let's build him up. He ended up being gangster. He stepped on an IED, and the guy next to him stepped on an IED, caught some shrapnel. He was there. He stepped on the second one, but the first one. So somebody stepped on the IED, and he was like treating everybody like, hey, you get that, and bandaging everybody up. And they got him up on the stretcher, and they went to go, and he stepped on another one. Like, oh my God! While he's missing his leg, and he's like, put a tourniquet on my leg. He's still trying to do work. Like, that is unreal. So I wrote the citation. You're not. And we trained that dude so good. I wrote the citation for him to get a silver star. Like, oh my word. But yeah, when I was saying about those 17 guys we lost, I've lost 66 to suicide since then while we've been back. How crazy is that? That 3 times the amount have taken their lives because they don't want to get the help and they don't want to talk to anybody.
And also that's a good point to bring up on this. If you have friends that are in, first responder, military stuff, always check on them. You just never know, like a text from them, they might be having maybe share the day, they might be on the verge. And just to know somebody cares about them, just to know, like, that's something you always take the extra step. You always, just check on your friends. I know we're all busy and we get caught up in daily life, but that is a big prevention.
It is. And don't be afraid to ask.
No, absolutely not. You kind of get the vibe, some people don't, but I mean, even if you're not okay, there's ways to approach it. Like, hey, I just care about you, or I'm really thinking about you today. I just want to see how you're doing. Like, let me know if you need anything.
Yeah.
You just you don't have to pry or get into people's business or anything, but just a simple text message could, literally
Make them open
save
up.
somebody's life if you don't realize it. So, that's one of the things I try to practice. I, have a lot of friends, I know a lot of people, and I love that I try to cycle through my friends and I get so busy with work, but I try to make sure, okay, I'm gonna text 5 friends today, and I'll say, how you doing? How's the kids? Just little points about know that they care about, because you do care about them.
Sure.
But we all, when we grow up and we get married and have kids, all the things we all have our own lives and you get caught up in it. So.
And if we don't, I'm gonna steal that. I hope you didn't copyright it. Text 5 friends a day.
I know, it's awesome. I'm glad.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, quote me on that.
I'll put it on the underscore.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about my other buddy, Mark Fucarelli. So Mark Fucarelli, he was one of the survivors from the Boston Marathon bombing. He's the one that actually brought me out here. I was supposed to be working on him. Sorry again to you, buddy. So when Bonnie Jill pulled me over to do her publicist stuff, I was like, I kind of still helped out with those guys. We got to hang out and see each other, but I kind of had to break off from him a little bit. But he's the one that actually got me down here and got me in with all the things that we're doing this week, and then working with Bonnie Jill and talking to everybody, making the connections. Running into you, this week has been crazy. I want to go home and I'm gonna crash for a week.
I thought I was gonna do that, but I'm booked for a podcast and concerts and everything else. So
you can stay tonight. I'll be driving tonight. I got a meeting with Aaron and Donovan on Tuesday. Let's go.
Yeah. And I'm definitely gonna crash hard tonight for sure.
Yeah.
It has been a week, but like I said, I'm so blessed and grateful. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
I'm so glad
It's so great to meet you.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope you find a way to make it out there to San Francisco.
I'm sure I will. I didn't know I was gonna be here, so. Well, thank you guys for watching the show. Stay tuned for more.